I wonder how long Julia and Colin sat by watching Anastasia suffer because of Aaron, knowing that if they said anything, then it might result in a fight with their daughter. Being a parent must be so difficult because you can see the bum in people, but pointing it out to people who aren't ready to see them for who they actually are will result in them rebelling against your advice. Hello and welcome to Connotation Points video Snark. If you came here because you thought that this is an audiobook, please stick around and maybe learn some reading and listening comprehension skills. I read books, discuss what went wrong and how they can possibly be fixed. I'm continuing my read through of Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. Not the first video, go check out the others, links are posted below. Chapter 33. The author started this chapter clearly itching to be as disgusting as possible. Anastasia goes downstairs where she notes Henry doesn't look like he started a fight with Aaron last night. What do you mean I'm not your type? I hiss. You're too short, he says bluntly. You're like, what, 5'3", 5'4"? Gotta be 5'9" or above to ride. Why the hell would you write this? Anastasia forces him to actually be on topic, which I'm internally thankful for. However, he has this to say about why he attacked Aaron. I don't want to tell you, Anastasia, he says, not because I want to lie to you, but because I don't see what you gain from knowing. He was talking shit, I hit him, and he left. You don't need to ever live with him again. Even next year when Nate and JJ are gone, I'll still be here to look out for you. It is appreciated, and I mean that sincerely. If she wants answers, I think that she's going to have to go talk to Aaron about why he decided to crash the hockey team party, get wasted, and proceed to say bad things about Anastasia in front of a bunch of hockey players. Ugh. Aaron's going to complain that they roughed him up, isn't he? I wouldn't put it past that slimy snake. Anastasia gets angry at Nate for hiding things from her, so he begins to talk about how Aaron had been showing up with two other guys, all of them drunk. He'd been looking for Anastasia, and then Henry started swinging. However, that obviously isn't what set Henry off, so both him and Nate have to go all the way back to around Halloween to begin their story. Because, yes, that's when they personally started to notice how awful that Aaron was, literally more than 2 months earlier. They tell her that every day after practice, Aaron would be ragging on Anastasia's poor behavior on the ice, that she was distracted, yada yada yada. However, one day Coach Brady flew off the handle and told Aaron that if he had such an issue with Anastasia, he could find a new partner. All of this was right before Aaron got hurt, which cannot possibly be a coincidence. Then one of the hockey players went to a basketball game and ended up sitting behind Aaron and two of his figure skating buddies that went to UCLA. Anastasia has to pause to explain to us that Aaron is such a stuck-up loser that he refused to make new friends at his university because all of his actual friends, or friends, went to the other school instead. Anyway, at this game, Tim overheard Aaron say some really unsavory things about Anastasia, calling her a jersey chaser, a gold digger, a slut, that she was only looking to baby trap Nate because she knew his family had money. And that brings us to last night. He came in, started saying all this unpleasant stuff, and then... I'm sorry, Stacy, I have to repeat this. He said no one will ever be able to love you because how could they when your own parents couldn't and the ones who bought you only want to fill up their trophy cabinet? Dude, that's a low blow, even from a talking turd like Aaron. As I've been saying over and over, this behavior didn't start around Halloween. Aaron has likely been thinking this about Anastasia for the duration of their relationship. He was simply better at hiding it. I'm not quite sure what about Nate set him off, but come on, Anastasia. The warning signs should have been there all along. Henry reiterates that Anastasia is welcome to stay at the place for as long as she needs. That even if she decides to end things with Nate, he'll get out the air mattress and she can have his bed. Nate encourages Anastasia to have her ugly cry, and considering what they told her, I think that it's beyond warranted. When she finishes, Nate tells her that he cares for her a great deal and thinks that she's an amazing figure skater, that he wouldn't be trying to help her on the ice if he didn't care for her and her skating, and above all else, that she is worthy of love. Anastasia hangs out with Nate in his room for a while before the boys go to work out. Then Anastasia goes downstairs with a nurse and briefly brushes over Aaron's eating disorder for her, which is further proof that his behavior didn't come out of nowhere. Putting on 7 pounds in the last month was a huge blow. I don't know how to explain to people that losing and gaining 5 pounds is fairly standard, especially for women, because we tend to gain a bit of weight around our periods. If the dude can't handle something like that, he shouldn't be doing lifts at all. Full stop. As they eat, JJ asks Anastasia if she plans to fully move into the house, and also Lola, but she seems like a footnote at this point. She says that she and Lola are going to have to talk about it after Anastasia gets back from Colorado. JJ says that Aaron has been nothing but a walking, talking red flag, which you don't say. Chapter 34. Nate complains that Anastasia's way too perky about travel. She has all of this stuff down, and he was only getting frustrated by her, and also early mornings. They're also going to Washington? Wait a second, since when? Even the book went out of its way to say that they were going to Colorado and that Anastasia wouldn't be going home on multiple occasions. I mean, I want to see her parents and judge for myself exactly what kind of people that they are. Are they miserable people who have been pushing Anastasia to seclusion so that they can live out their wildest dreams? Or are they simply nice people who just want to see their daughter being happy? I suppose that we'll find out. With her parents, her mom, Julia, asks her daughter about booking private skating time at the local rink. Anastasia explains that she doesn't want to do any skating while she's there, nor does she want to talk about it, and goes on to explain that her shrink thinks that it's healthier if Anastasia not only rests physically but also mentally as well, and good for her for actually sticking to it. Of course, Annie, we only ask because we know how important it is to you. Wait. We could have been calling her Annie this entire time. What's up with their narration calling her Stats and Stacy? Yeah, they call me Annie because of it's an orphan. Colin bursts out laughing as Julia gasps, crossing her arms over her chest. Anastasia Rebecca Allen, she squeaks. We call you Annie because you couldn't spell Anastasia until you were 8. That's fair. I still think that Annie is a better nickname than Stacy or Stats. They then kind of lounge around the house before they go for dinner. The lounging around takes up several pages, but don't worry about it. And as I was anticipating nothing happening for the last page of the chapter, it turns out that their waiter is Anastasia's old figure skating partner, for some unholy reason. After introducing Nate as her boyfriend, James goes into the back with their orders, where he proceeds to disappear for the rest of the night. I kinda don't care, especially since this was such a non-issue. Honestly, between Aaron and a possible angry ex, I think that I'd rather have an angry ex, because then at least you'd know where the anger and resentment towards Nate was coming from. With Aaron, I've honestly got nothing. Chapter 35. They go to Colorado next. However, most of what happens is mainly glossed over, and I'm not sure if I should be thankful or not because I didn't actually want to read about their holiday alone. Anastasia does a lot of reflecting on how much she's improved, not only in setting boundaries with her parents in her skating life, but also in ditching Aaron's unhealthy ways. Her mom almost started crying when Anastasia made them some Indian dish JJ taught her how to make. I'm proud of you. You're home happy and healthy. You have a wonderful boyfriend. I'm your mom, so I'm allowed to be emotional when I see my daughter thriving. I wonder how long Julia and Colin sat by watching Anastasia suffer because of Aaron, knowing that if they said anything, then it might result in a fight with their daughter. Being a parent must be so difficult because you can see the bum in people, but pointing it out to people who aren't ready to see them for who they actually are will result in them rebelling against your advice. Anastasia did explain to her mom exactly what had been going on between her and Aaron. Obviously, Julia is really angry over the entire thing and gets upset when Anastasia tells her what he said about her biological and adoptive parents. You are the best thing that ever happened to us, Anastasia, the absolute best. How talented you are as to what makes you so special, but I loved you long before you put on a pair of ice skates. Oh, thank God, healthy parental relationships in a novel. It's honestly kind of refreshing. When asked what she plans to do about the increasingly worsening Aaron situation, Anastasia says that she doesn't know. I was expecting to hear from him after the fight, but there's been nothing. Lolo told me he left for Chicago and wouldn't be back until the new year, and I know spending the holidays with his fighting parents will only put him in a worse mood. Oh dear Lord, don't tell me that the worst is yet to come. I can no longer be a doormat for a broken man to dump his emotional baggage on when he refuses to even attempt to help himself. Yes, Queen. It hurts to admit all of this that I'm giving up on him. I want every single person to repeat after me. It is not my job to fix other people, especially people who don't actually want to change. Anastasia talks about how privileged that Aaron is, how he has all of these resources yet refuses to use them, which is only kind of proving that money really can't buy happiness, seeing as how Aaron has none. Moving forward, Anastasia thinks that the best course is to treat Aaron like they're nothing but business partners. I feel like even that's going to turn out to be a huge mistake, but we'll see, I guess. We then skip over to Anastasia and Nate arriving at his family's manor house. Nate can't help but comment that although his family has the same sort of display of trophies as Anastasia's parents, his family home is colder, devoid of love and life. Chapter 36. When Anastasia is dealing with the issues around her own identity and how Aaron trashed her sense of self and worth, and is over here contemplating how to tell Anastasia that he loves her. And while I will admit that the book has come a long way since the beginning, with me complaining about how introducing every single character all at once made it unbearable, I don't think that we'll ever be ready for about a solid page of Nate thinking through all of his love thoughts about her. Don't get me wrong, because I do actually enjoy good romance. Emphasis on good. But I'm not here for a character waxing poetically about his girlfriend of 3 months when I myself can barely stand the guy. Getting back to the plot, Nate apologizes for the lack of Christmas decor in the house. However, he says that nobody's ever home anyway, not simply for the holidays, but like ever. Full stop. They then get naked, and, well, what do you think happened for the rest of the chapter? Thanks for listening to my book Snark on YouTube. New videos are up every Monday, but stick around because I sometimes drop random videos on other days too. Just as a reminder, even if you can't financially support me, there are other ways to help me out. The first is watching this video as well as all of my other videos. It's also important to like and subscribe. Finally, you can share this video with all your friends so that they can help as well. If you're already caught up with all of my videos, you can go to Tumblr for my main book Snarks, always free and updated every morning. Newly added to Patreon is to become a member without paying. You'll get access to the same things on Tumblr, but on Patreon. Supporters can have access to so many more books now starting at $1 a month. Also new is a 1-week free Patreon trial, so be sure to check that out. Special thanks to Dawn, Phoebe, and Nikki for supporting me on Patreon already. If you want to hear your name in my video next week, either support me on Patreon or make a one-time donation. Do you like my Snark so much that you want me to snark your writing? I do that too. For just $6 per chapter, I will tell you how awful that your writing is. But not to worry if you feel like you couldn't take the criticism. I also offer regular book editing as well, just $10 per chapter. You can contact me on any of my social media platforms if you have further questions. If you want to read some of the things that I've written, you can purchase my works on Amazon. I have a slew of spicy short stories and 2 full-length novels. I also frequently run flash sales on my stories, and if you don't follow me on any social media, you might want to do so just so you know when I might be offering things for free. Links for everything will be posted below. See you next week, guys!